Hello, 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 everyone out there. This is Bruce Bryant Felton. Welcome aboard to the DT Domination Hangout tonight. We do these every Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am extremely excited for tonight. We have some wonderful, wonderful people on the panel tonight. We got Tracey Walker, $1 million earner here inside of the community. We have Paul and Kim, who are crushing it right now on the leaderboards. And last but not least, we also have David Wood, the founder of Empower Network, who has created dozens of millionaires here inside of this industry, the network marketing industry, right? So, like I said, we do these every Wednesday at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I've been with EN for the past 2 years, and I'm so excited to be surrounded by so many wonderful people, especially the people on the panel right now. Well, I see David Wood just popped on. You know what, guys? Everybody on this panel is looking so sexy today. I mean, they're not looking as sexy as me, but they're looking pretty damn fine. But I'm really excited for today, so I want to go ahead and just pass this on over, right, to Tracey Walker. Tracey, are you there?
Yeah, Bruce, I am here. And you know what? I want to say, I think I'm pretty darn sexy. Now, you have a male sexy, I have a female sexy going on. So, so I appreciate not being as sexy as you, okay? You're too sexy for your sleeves on your shirt. But listen, guys, I'm so thrilled and excited to have all you guys here. Not just because we got Dave on, but because it's always great to hang out with our team, with our family. We are just 1 week away and a couple days from our Las Vegas event. And I'm super pumped. I'm super thrilled. I see Adrian has on his Revolution shirt. I actually have a throwback shirt. It's like a throwback now, right? This is the Chicago sweatshirt. So 2013 is like ancient in our day and age, right? So it's a throwback shirt. And I can't wait to get some more stuff going for Vegas. But you know what? Tonight we want to do something exciting. We wanted to share with you so much of the success that is taking place, not just within Empower Network, but right here within our group. And, there's nothing better than to see every time Empower Network has a company hangout or webcast or something, there's always somebody or two from the Dream Team representing, right? Always. We either have Desmond Soon on there doing something. We usually have Paul and Kim out there doing something. We've had Bruce out there doing stuff. We have tons of people that are out there representing our team, our organization, and making sure people know that the Dream Team is definitely a force to be reckoned with, and our ultimate goal is to raise up as many leaders as we possibly can. So what I would like to do tonight is not do all the talking. What I want to do is I'm going to pass it over to our top producer within our organization, our top producers, Paul Gardiner and Kimberly Denise. These guys have, over the past year and a half, 2 years, have gone from not really believing or knowing what to do in a sense, to then just deciding that that the result is way more important than all that other hoopla that's in our heads, right? And they decided to just start taking action. They decided to start, and as a result of the snowball getting bigger and bigger and bigger, we're talking about people that, were kind of out in the atmosphere, right, in the hundreds of thousands of people that were in Empower Network, to literally being #1 on the leaderboards for the number of people that they've sponsored last 7 days, last 30 days. They're looking forward to get on down to Costa Rica, right, with David and win some stuff. I mean, it's just so awesome to watch this young couple. In fact, David, I don't know if you knew, but they actually met at an Empower event, right? And so they've come together. Now their business has just blossomed and flourished, and they likewise have people within their organization that are rising up as well. And so, how exciting, it's like several generations here. Dave, you brought me on board, right? So that would be a second generation 2, right? Then I brought on somebody who was really generation 3, and then that person brought on somebody who was generation 4, and then that person brought on Paul, right, which is really generation 5. So to have a 5th generation leader here to share how he's doing it, what he's doing, and to highlight some of his team members is phenomenal. So right before I do that, I do want to recognize some of the Leadership Council members that we have here. We've got Roger Severa on the line, on the call, the hangout, and we've got Adrian Hines here. I'll let Paul introduce his team members. So what we'll do, Dave, is we kind of get going and start after we start sharing some of the successes. What we do want to do is we want to leave about 30 minutes at the end of the hangout, guys, for some Q&A with Dave directly, okay, or anybody on the panel. So make sure that those of you that are on the panel that have questions, make sure you have your questions ready, okay? And then I'll be kind of fumbling through the chat to see if we have some in the time frame that we have. And Adrian and Roger, whatever you guys have to share as well as we get going, please feel free to jump in there. So with that being said, I love you guys so much. Welcome to this awesome DT Domination Hangout. And Paul, I'm going to turn it over to you, superstar.
Hi, thank you. Can everybody hear me?
Yep, you're good.
Okay, good. All right, awesome. Well, welcome to tonight's hangout, everybody. First and foremost, just because what this community is best at doing is uplifting everybody and their successes when they need it. So I just want to give a couple of shout-outs for people that may be watching now or maybe even watching later. A couple of new teammates of ours, specifically speaking, Jen Baker, who's watching this, who made her first sale in the first 3 days and joining the business. Congratulations. And then also Tamara Winstead, who also just joined and made her first sale within 3 days. And it's just cool to get that first small win out of the way. You know, oftentimes we find ourselves seeing a lot of people who complain, bitch, and moan about why they can't create the results that they want. And we'll talk about that probably a little later. You might hear some F-bombs because this might be a little bit rated R. So hide your kids, hide your wife. Well, maybe not. Maybe your wife needs to hear this too. But definitely put the earmuffs on because we're definitely like not censored at all, right? And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But I just want to share a couple of things that really helped us just break through. And like Tracey mentioned earlier, you know what's hilarious about this chat comment? No matter how hard I try, this little chat thing right here, it always distracts the hell out of me. So I'm just going to try to focus here directly in your eyes. So, you know, just like Tracey said earlier, that, you know, we met, Kimberly and I, my business partner and girlfriend, we met at an Empower Network event. And, you know, I remember when we got together, we were watching one of the event recordings, which was like in summer, right in September, right after the Denver event. We were watching one of the recordings, and I remember Dave in one of the videos, he said, you know, a lot of you who are looking to create your vision and accomplish your goals are just missing unity with someone. And that was huge because, you know, I personally never really had an accountability partner, you know, and like our good friend Michelangelo Lopez always says, you know, your sponsor went into the witness protection program. That's kind of like what happened to mine, right? And same with Kim's. So we became accountability partners, and we decided to actually finally start working together officially right around the January era of 2014. We were both building separate businesses at the time. For those that that don't know, she was making money on her account, I was making money on our account. You know, we just saw it feasible, and it just made sense to unify and then just crush it together. You know, kind of like how Adrian Hines and Vanessa Hicks came together and unified both of their visions, right? And you know, we often talk about vision, and there's a lot of people who may be watching, and you might be like a first-generational entrepreneur, and oftentimes we find ourselves having this one vision, but like our spouse or our loved one, they don't have that same vision, right? They have a totally different vision, oftentimes a vision of mediocrity. And I remember our good friend Miles Monroe, rest in peace, you know, he said that if there's two visions in the household, you have a monster, like a two-headed monster. And it's really hard to succeed in life if your vision is not aligned together congruently with your secondary half. And luckily, thank God that Kimberly has the same vision that we do. Our vision only continues to stretch, and we believe that we continue to grow. We hit the leaderboard simply because we love our team. We want them to succeed so badly, and the only way that we can continue growing is by helping them and by expanding that vision beyond. And tonight, you know, it's kind of like a vision quest. You guys are going to learn about our vision as a company as a whole, about how we're going to do 100 millionaires per year, and that, of course, results not typical. And within our personal organization, Kim and I's, we want to generate $2 million this year because I also heard from another successful network marketer, and he makes like close to $1 million a month. He said, you got to believe much bigger, much faster right now. right? You got to believe much bigger, much faster. Right now, so for 2015, we've set some gigantic goals, and I know that with this community, with this people around us, that not only will accomplish it, because we will not stop fighting until we accomplish it, and even if it means death, we will not stop, right? And that's what we're going to do. So that being said, I just want to recognize just a couple of teammates that have also been creating results who are actually on the panel. Welcome. Well, I get confused every time. Janelle, I saw your name, it said MJ. I was thinking Michael Jackson. I was like, you know, this is it, right? And then Nadia as well, who's also been creating results, and she was on the Inner Circle Empower Hour call a couple weeks back. And then Alicia Tiemann, who's also creating results for the first time after like a year of like not really creating results, not because she was struggling, but because there was really no action. But it's like finally she took action and now is creating the results. So congratulations for all you three. And then I'm just going to bring it over to Kim, see if she has some words, and then you can bring it back over to Miss Tracy. You got a few words, Kim?
I do. Can you hear me okay? Can you guys hear me? Thumbs up from anyone who can hear me? Yeah? Okay, awesome, cool. So really quickly, we have a lot of people we want to share here. But something that I wanted to share just to inspire those of you who are maybe brand new or maybe you haven't even joined yet, but you're considering joining and starting the 21-day blogging challenge with us. All that Paul and I have done, you know, they mentioned at the beginning of the Hangout, or maybe you missed it if you tuned in a little bit late, but, you know, we've been sitting at the #1 spot for some time now. We're #1 in the last 30 days, #1 in the last 7 days, and you might ask yourself, wow, like, what does it take to get there, and what are they doing to do that? And all I want to tell you is we're just following the 8 core commitments. We're literally blogging daily, and we're telling others, we're sharing our blogs. We're literally just creating content, putting it out there. And if I could tell, or if I could give any value to those of you that are watching this and that are, you know, wanting to create results, or maybe you're just wanting to create your first commissions or whatever it might be, is to just find yourself a market or an audience or a niche. Okay, find yourself a group of people that you can serve, and you can figure out what their problems are, and then you can create content to solve those problems and continuously do that consistently, day after day after day. That's all that we've been doing.
Hey, Kim, really quick. I know we can talk about the success and all that, but why don't you tell everybody a little bit of your background? Because, like, you know, all they see is the board sign-ups. All they see is the member sign-ups. All they see is the money, but they don't really know the story behind the glory. Just give them a quick recap of what
Okay, the really long story cut short would be, well, I started network marketing when I was 18. I'm 27 now. And I've been in pretty much every company out there and sold pretty much everything that exists, and struggled the entire time until I found Empower. And a couple of years ago in 2009, I found myself working 40 hours a week, plus overtime at my job, only seeing my kids a couple of hours a day. And I just made a decision one day that I just wanted something else. I knew that, you know what, I have to, if I want something different, if I want to live a different life than what I'm doing now, I can't keep doing the same things over and over again that I've been doing. And so I've got to change myself, I've got to change my habits, I've got to change and continue to change and make new decisions and get new habits. So, you know, I plugged in with Empower, and I just started following the steps and the training and all of that. And, you know, have been able to create the success now. But I was able to retire from corporate America August 30th of 2013. So I've been job free since then. And it's literally been thanks to Empower, because until then I had never seen any success at all in any other company. Couldn't talk to people. I was extremely introverted. If you talk to anybody that knew me a couple of years ago, I could not approach people, couldn't talk to people. Hence the reason why I struggled, because it's like they wanted me to go out and approach random people and, you know, ask them if their business options are open and see if they wanted to join, and I had to do all this kind of stuff that was not me. I did not know how to do all that stuff, nor did I even want to, which I think most people don't want to do that kind of stuff, right? So I was really, really grateful to find Empower, to be able to learn how to really build a business the right way, and to also have a life as well. So that's where I was, and here I am today, and just super excited to be here, super excited to see our teammates who are also brand new. Most of the people that are on this hangout that are on our team are brand new. They're seeing results, and I'm just super excited for this year and for everything that's coming our way. So.
Cool, cool. So, Miss Tracey, are you there?
Of course, I'm here. I'm listening intensely. When I first got started, in this industry, I got started because my real estate business that I had that was previously doing well seemingly tanked on me, right? And it was kind of like the economy's fault that it tanked. Of course, I had nothing to do with that. But I was introduced to this industry through a good friend of mine in January of 2006. Being open. There's something about being ready to listen. There's something about being prepared to take the next step in your success, in your journey, even if you're uncertain as to going to lead you, right? So I got started in this industry completely oblivious to what it would take, and I learned very quickly that there is a big difference between being a boss, which is what I was in my real estate business, and being a leader inside of a volunteer army, which is what we have here. It's two totally different perspectives. It's two totally different leadership styles, and it requires different skills. And I had to learn these skills because I learned very quickly in this network marketing industry that just because someone says that they want to make $10,000 a month, which happens to be like the magic number, I guess, everybody comes to the meeting and says, oh, I want to make $10,000 a month, and then you say, great, make sure that you bring, 2 people to the meeting on Tuesday and Thursday. Great, get to the Saturday training every Saturday, which is 4 times out of the week for a couple hours, and then you look up and the room is empty, right? And then you're questioning, well, I thought you said you wanted $10,000 a month. Did you expect to say that you wanted it and then it was just going to magically happen overnight? Especially when whatever job you're at, chances are the average person isn't making that at their 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Yet they get in this industry and they want things to happen, lightning speed. So I had to change up some things, and I had to go back to the drawing board, which also included me coming online in 2008 to try to figure out how I could duplicate myself. That was why I came. Some people come to the internet because they want to find leads, they want to generate leads. Some people want to come because, like Kim, just talking to the friends and family and speaking to people wasn't like on the top of their list of priorities, something that they love to do. For me, it was because, I like to speak to people, but I was tired of speaking to the wrong people. And so I wanted to find a way to speak to people and leverage myself so that even if the people who were going to say no could see the presentation, I didn't have to hear no. I didn't have to experience no. I could really focus my energy and my effort on the people that actually responded positively and said, yes, this is what I want to do. So in 2008, I got going online. In 2009, I met this guy, right? This guy came out of like nowhere, and he was like shooting up the leaderboards in this company that we were both in, and we couldn't figure out who sponsored him, right? Because his name was like, no one knew it, right? And I was on a leaderboard in that company, and I'm like, who the heck is this guy, right? Everybody trying to figure out who his sponsor was. And then one day he this webinar, because it wasn't a hangout back then. Imagine that, 2009, no hangouts. He did this webinar, and he sold this idea of blogging and article writing, and then this is what he did. He leveraged an affiliate program, right? An affiliate program where then, because he said he used this tool to help him generate these results, there was an influx of people who actually followed his recommendation, went and bought this tool. And I believe, and he can correct me if I'm wrong, but it was somewhere like around $17,000 or between $12,000 and $17,000, something like that, on that one night, right? And at that point in time, I had never seen that done before, right? I was still kind of tapping away at, a couple people a day. And I saw him make this money, and I was thinking, okay, great. Now, I've never really seen him because all his presentations were all PowerPoints, right? He didn't do videos like how we're doing right now. I didn't see his face physically, right? I would see pictures of him, and I was trying to figure out how the hell is he doing what he's doing. Some kind of way we connected. I believe it was in LA. We did a DVD together, and I first met him. At that time, like, he was living in this van, right? I had no idea. He was just so smart and was just speaking about concepts and things that were kind of like, you know, over my head. But it was kind of hard not to like him. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew what he was talking about. And if you were smart, you better pay attention, right? So that's kind of where our relationship began there. And we just stayed in touch over time. And we did different companies, this and that. And then one day in October of 2011, just 2 years after that, we were both speaking at another event. And this is when he shared with me the idea of what we now know as you know, Empower Network, right? It was the birth of Empower Network. There were 30 people in the room. I was not in the room because I was busy out, you know, trying to sell product in the back of the room at the hotel, trying to generate income after speaking. And we got back, and I got on the Skype with him, and I got started right then, right? I got started right then. I said, well, look, what is it that we're really selling, right? What is our product, right? And he goes, look, Trace, it's a scam. Don't worry about it. Just get all in. And I said, all right. Now, partly because I knew this gentleman. I knew he was just being facetious about it's the scam part. I didn't believe it was really a scam, right? Number one, I didn't believe he would put his name out there in an effort to defraud people. That's number one, right? Number two, I had seen him do miraculous things, and he was never my sponsor. I was never his sponsor. We had never worked sideline together in any business before, and I thought this would be an excellent opportunity for me to just be able to work with him and kind of learn more about what he knows, right? I was being a student at that point in time. And then secondly, I truly just believed that his heart was that of a champion and that he truly desired to see the people in his team succeed. One of the things that we both shared at a certain point in time in our business before Empower Network was that we were able to do things or see a certain level of success regardless of what that was, but the people that had aligned with us, they weren't able to do that, right? And it gets very disheartening at times where I really cry because I felt bad that I didn't know what to do to help people, right? So lo and behold, the birth of Empower Network starts, or it comes to fruition, and it was like all those years of I don't want to say struggle, but of challenge, all the years of not knowing exactly what to do, all the years of being in college and honing my speaking skills and presenting and speaking at different companies I worked with and going overseas and working, all the years of my real estate business, speaking with my clients, going over paperwork, speaking with attorneys, closing agents, title agents, all these different people, buyers, sellers, all the years of dealing with the people in the offline environment, learning about people's goals and dreams, all of that, even though ultimately it did not bring forth my dream in any of those one things in particular, but collectively all the knowledge that I gained along the road, along the journey, prepared me for what took place October of 2011 and beyond. And I feel like I was in the right place at the right time with the right group of people who had the right hearts. See, sometimes you could have a couple of those things and not all of those things, and things still aren't right. But because we had the right hearts, the right people, the right place, and the right timing, things seemed to spin in a very, very fast, energetic motion, where success was just coming out of how it was. I was just kind of riding the wave, right? The tide had come in, and when the tide comes in, you know all the boats will rise, right? And so that is what took place. As a result of that allowed me to bump into people like Roger Silvera, that allowed me to bump into people like Adrian Hines, that allowed me to bump into people that brought other people on board, like Bruce Bryant Felton, like Paul and Kim, and like so many others of our members here in our organization, to where now this is just a force. It is literally a breathing, pulsating heartbeat of success, right? Where we are literally literally pumping out and churning out the dreams of our members. And I will have to just say that if it weren't for the vision of David Wood, that quirky guy I met who made that $17,000 on that hangout while living in a van, that guy who did that video with me when we were in LA, that's still on YouTube to this day, like 2009. I wish I could show it. I probably will show it to you guys at some point. It's still there. Right, and to now be part of an organization, a community where it's all about uplifting the hearts, the goals, the dreams, the visions of the people, while aligning with the mission and the vision of our founder. I think it's awesome. I think it's superb. I think it is miraculous. I think it is supernatural what we are doing here with this movement, I will say, not with this company, but with this movement. So what I want to do now is I want to turn this over to my friend, to my business partner, to my sponsor, right, to my sponsor, and to my fellow new parent, right, because both of our sons were born in 2014. In fact, his son will be 1 year old this month, right? I believe in like another week, right? 1 year old. And I can't, or maybe a week or two, and I just can't believe how fast, Dave, this whole year has gone past, because I remember when we were standing out there in Miami and you had that big monstrosity on your neck, right? And it was on stage with the little, whatever that was, a little clicker. It looked like a clicker, like a projector clicker. I don't know what it was. But you had it out. It looked ridiculous.
It pumped air into the neck brace to cause decompression in my neck, because I had I posted that story on Facebook. I think people thought that was one of my jokes. But if you actually, I posted that on Facebook the other day. If you look at those photos, you can actually see like one of my arms is like twice the size as the other arm if you look at it, and it's just something you'd never notice in another person because people don't like look at each other like that. But it was because I had a compressed nerve and all the muscles on the left side of my body like stopped functioning, and it was like all the pain in my whole arm was firing off at the same time. So somehow, and I think it was my unconscious mind like trancing me out, I stepped on stage on Friday and was able to like be pain-free for like 3 hours when I told jokes and stories, and then the rest of the event I was like bedridden. So that was definitely an interesting event for me. I had there was some energy healer in Empower Network. I don't know, maybe she's on here now, and she like took me in a room and put her hand on my foot, and my back started moving around. It totally tripped me out. So. But anyways, guys, I'm excited to be here for a variety of reasons. You know, number one, I remember meeting you too, Tracy. You know, and I remember making that video. We were in a hallway. I think I don't remember where it was. I think it might have been California or something. But we had gone down to make that DVD, and like we all filmed like the most awesome testimonials ever. And then they took those testimonials and put them in the worst DVD ever. I don't know if you remember that, but like it was a really funny time. But anyways, I remember meeting Tracy, and we cut this video, and we challenged the women of the community to step it up, because as a lot of you know, and maybe you don't know, but in our industry, 70% of the distributors and affiliates, 70% of them are women, but 70% of the leadership is men, right? And so it is something that kind of happens pretty much in every company. The exceptions to that are companies like Mary Kay or like a lot of makeup companies. They have way fewer men leaders, but in majority of companies, 70% women and 70% of the leadership is men. And there's no real good reason for that. Maybe men are more aggressive with business sometimes naturally. But it's always fun because when you challenge women, they do tend to step it up, don't they? And that's what, you know, I was really excited about with Tracy, because right now we only have one. You know, there's couples with male and female working together who are $1 million earners, but we have one $1 million earner who's predominantly who's like the business builder in her family, and that's Tracy. And I would love to have like 100 of them. You know what I mean? I would actually like it if in Power Network we had 70% female leadership. I think it would be cool. Because the world needs strong women, you know what I mean? And women really are powerful leaders naturally, more powerful than men. Men don't listen to anybody. They're not patient with anything ever, you know what I mean? They're just aggressive. That's all they are, you know what I mean? Men have to like work on every single people skill that exists because we do all of it bad. You know, we don't listen. We over talk. You know what I mean? We forget what we're talking about in the mid sentence. All stuff that women don't do. They're better multitaskers, usually smarter, usually read faster. You know what I mean? But for some reason, the majority of leadership is usually men. And actually, that's one of the things that this year, you know, we're making adjustments for in our marketing and Empower Network, because one of the things Mars pointed out, I've been mentioning this on multiple hangouts, just because I think that it's a powerful realization, is that for our industry especially, 70% of bloggers are women, and 70% of people in direct sales are women, and our marketing has been very, very masculine. Since the beginning of our company. I mean, with cussing in the middle of videos to having a skull be the label, you know, the logos at events, or like a muscle man, like without wearing a shirt, or like our wife beater shirts that we wear everywhere, you know, you know, all stuff that makes women a little uncomfortable. Sometimes, depends on who they are, not all of them, right? But we haven't featured enough women in our sales materials. And so that's just something that we're doing as an alteration, for example, in our new funnel, that's it's more appealing to our target market. Because if we could be more appealing to our target market and not drive people away that really are the majority of our customers, we can be 10 times bigger. And so that's just a funny story, because I remember meeting Tracey too. You know, guys, what I wanted to really come on here and talk about, and I really wanted to have a discussion more than just talking at you, is I wanted to just talk to you about the vision behind what we're doing, and really what we have the ability to do as a community this year. And I want to talk to you about the commitments that you're making and that you're not making, right? Because a lot of times people, especially if they're new to our industry, they don't really get what we're doing. It's like they always think we're trying to sell them something. Sometimes people think that when they come in, but really there's only a few things to buy, for example, in Empower Network. You know, there's a handful of things to buy, there's some monthly subscriptions to pay for, and that's kind of it. There's not like tons of stuff. We have 5 core products, right? We have an affiliate fee, and we have our events, and that's really all that we have, right? And all that we talk about is those same things all the time, right? And so sometimes people don't really understand what we're doing, so they take it wrong, but I want to talk to you straight tonight, okay, about what I believe is going to happen. Also what I believe would be in your best interest to do, and you could take it or leave it. Is that fair, right? If you guys want to follow along and you want to run with us this year, you could run with us this year. If you don't want to, you can get left behind, right? There's actually this movie, I think it's a Christian movie, it's called Left Behind. I don't know if any of you guys on the panel have ever seen that movie. Awful movie, but in any case, it's like when Jesus comes and like all the Christians in the world disappear at the same time, and in this movie it's really funny because there's like a person just vanishes and all their clothes land in a neatly folded pile, like wherever they were standing or sitting in that movie, and like all these people are just left behind, wondering where all these people went, and then the world like breaks out into fights over like where all these people went, and it's a really hilarious movie for me. But in any case, it's never fun to actually get left behind and wonder, you know, where did all those people go? And then you check later, and they're off in some magical future that you could have been in. You didn't make a decision to run with them. You know, there's people who didn't get involved in Empower Network when we launched, and they could have made millions of dollars, millions. You know, I was talking with Cedric. You know, we're real good friends with Cedric, Tracey and I. I still talk to Cedric, I mean, almost every month. He's one of my good friends. He actually taught me how, he really helped me have a breakthrough in my closing skill real early of being online. Some of you know who I'm talking about, some of you don't. If you don't, it's fine. If you do, it's fine. But in any case, you know, I told him, I was like, dude, if you would have gotten Empower Network when I launched, man, and just believed in what we're doing, you would have made like $5 or $10 million. You would have been our top earner, no question about it. And he was like, he just looked at me and he was like, shit, you know, you're right. Because it's true, he would have been our top earner if he had gotten in. And in fact, he still could be if he decided to do it right now. And there's people who didn't get in with us, and they just saw all of us march into a better future and do things that they'd never been able to do before. And they regret not coming with us. They regret getting left behind. But see, it was their choice to get left behind. It wasn't ours. We reached out to them, right? And it was their choice. And so tonight I'm giving you an invitation, and you have a choice. You can get left behind or you can run with us. And that's really the choice that you have tonight. And you could go do something else and succeed. I'm not saying you'll never be successful in your life or this is the only thing that you can do. I'm just saying that you could come with us or get left behind. You have a choice, right? This is your opportunity to come with us, and if you want to, you can have a beautiful future with us as a community, as a team, as a body of people that have a vision, have a shared vision together to empower and change the world. And so, you know, here's where we are, and let me just talk to you about our story of Empower Network. You know, Empower Network really comes from the combined stories of a whole bunch of people who had all the same struggles. If you look on the internet, all the people who are building network marketing businesses on the internet all have the same problems. In fact, you're going to be hard-pressed to find anybody in a normal traditional network marketing company that builds their business on the internet that has anything except a big front line and zero duplication at all. Tracy, am I right? It's true, right? People have big front lines, they recruit a lot online, and then they have no downline past that. They have no leadership, maybe one or two guys, right? They all have to hawk a million products to create their living because what they do doesn't grow organically through an organization of people. They all have the same problems, right? And then you also have the people on the internet that are trying to duplicate, and for whatever reason it won't, so they don't recruit a lot of people, and thus they make no money. And then you have all the rest of the people on the internet that pretty much make no money at all, right? And it's been this constant struggle getting a new person to succeed, right, on the internet because it's a really complicated world, and that's the truth of it. We could try to pretend, hey, there's only a few things to do, but if you're doing all this stuff yourself, there's a hell of a lot of stuff to do. I mean, today, for all the stuff that I used to do personally on the internet, and I used to do it personally for years, right? I have like 5 people who are full-time managing that stuff, right? And truthfully, I used to do the job of all 5 people and more, right? Because it's a lot of work. You got to be a funnel artist, a sales artist, a marketing copy guy, a blogger, an SEO guy, you know, a tech guy, you know what I mean? It's like this huge pain in the ass. When really what makes people money is getting into productive activities, right? So when Empower Network started, I had this idea. I was like, hey, let's take all this stuff away from people, and they can learn it if they want. It's fine, right? We're not going to withhold information from them. But let's just make it so they don't have to do it. We'll sell better in them, create the funnels, we'll make the capture pages for them, we'll set up the blogs for them. They don't have to have any technical hassle at all, right? And they can keep the majority of the money rather than us keeping all the money, right? And we'll pay them more than they've ever been paid in their life for doing that, and allow them to build a team, but everything is going to be simple. Just blog daily, tell others, get money, right? That was our slogan. And so when somebody started Empower Network, that's all they had to do. Blog daily, tell others, get money, right? And they could make a lot of money from doing that. Well, because it was simple and because people could immediately get into productive activities because they could just start marketing the capture page and the sales process, what happened is we just exploded beyond anybody's wildest dreams. I mean, I knew it would work, but I was thinking we might do the first year, you know, a couple $1 million, a few $1 million, maybe $5 or $10 million the next year and grow into like a $30 or $40 million company over a few years. What actually happened was we did $1.5 million our first month. We immediately got into doing $1 million to $2 million a month, had some struggles, then immediately bounced back after the struggles, started doing $1 million a month, $1.5 million a month, $2 million a month, $2.5 million a month, $3 million a month, $3.5 million a month, $4 million a month, got all the way up to about $7 million a month, right? And that was when we kind of butchered part of what we were doing back in end of 2013, and we launched ENV2, which was a great idea that was bad advised, and we didn't know how to build companies, right? We just didn't know we didn't know all the parts to what we were doing, why it was working. So we launched ENV2, and it didn't totally butcher us. We were still the biggest, company all through 2014 that's remotely close to what we do in our niche, still, right? All through the year, well having to struggle because that technology platform sort of took away our grassroots growth that really created our company, right? And so I really realized that early last year and started working on Kalatu, which is the platform that we have now. That's in beta release for all the people that are using it in Empower Network. And I've been working on that all year, working on a bunch of stuff. But anyways, the things that made Empower Network work, the ideas that created Empower Network, okay, were the things that made us successful, right? The things that made us successful. And those things are what exists now in what I believe is the complete recreation of our company. And I'm real excited right now. I don't know if it'll come across clearly tonight because I'm a little bit tired. And I feel just a little itchiness in my throat. So I might have to drink water off and on as I'm talking, but I'm real excited about what's going on and about the direction that we're going. Because what I've seen happen, hold on just a second here. I've been on a lot of hangouts the last few days. I'll be on a lot for the next couple weeks too, maybe I'll lose my voice by the event. It'll be interesting. But in any case, Tony Robbins actually puts ice on his throat after he speaks for a while. Isn't that weird? I learned that he's like he speaks for like 3 hours. He goes back. He puts ice on his throat, right? Because he uses his vocal cords too much. Anyways, I'm not nearly. I don't do things like that. But anyways, so here's where I believe Empower Network is and where it's going. And this is not from like what I think. Okay, this is from looking at data and looking at the results people are getting right now. Empower Network is from a growth perspective about where we were in Atlanta at our very first event. That's where we are, okay? And that's from the excitement in the field, the buzz in the marketplace. That's from the reignition and the regrowth that I've started to see happen since we've launched the Kalatu platform, from the 21-day blogging challenge, from how excited people are about all the new stuff that we're releasing, from the new processes we're releasing. Like we're releasing entirely new funnel system coming up this next week. And what's going to happen is very similar to what happened after Atlanta, okay? What happened after Atlanta, let me just kind of rehash this for you if you guys weren't around, and if you were around, you remember. Okay, but here's what happened after Atlanta. What happened after Atlanta, Atlanta created 15 millionaires. That's what happened. Okay, Atlanta did. Now, they weren't created from our other events. They were really created in Atlanta. And the reason why Atlanta did that was because that's when our company became real. Okay, like before that, people thought we were the kind of this thing on the internet. We'd be here one day and gone another day. And in Atlanta, people came into that room and they realized that we're real, right? They realized we're a real company. I mean, there were people that came there that were like, you mean this isn't a scam? I mean, literally, they thought it was a scam and we're still doing it because it was so exciting. And then they came to Atlanta, they're like, wait a second. You mean I'm actually selling products and this is not a scam and like we'll be around? And like people just got real excited and our company started to have a real fast, natural, organic growth after Atlanta. We almost immediately doubled in sales. I mean, we went from, and we're bigger than this now anyways. You know, we went from about 1.2 million a month to 1.7 million to 2.5 million to 3.5 million. I mean, like this, bam, 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 bam. Now, the reason we were able to do that was a combination of things. It was because the organic growth in our platform from people actually blogging had just started to really take off. That takes a few months to really get traction, right? Like with the things we're doing on Kalatu, the things that we're doing now aren't going to catch traction in Kalatu for about 2 more months. That's the way blogging works, right? People are getting results from the blog that are way faster than the results we got from me in version 1. Way faster, okay? And those of you who are around, you know that. Those of you who've seen the results, you know that, right? But the real results from what we're doing, which is way more scientific and way better than what we did before, you're not going to see them at all for about 2 more months. Not at all. Okay, you guys ain't seen nothing that this platform is going to produce because it's not going to show up for another 2 months, right? Usually people, and this is funny, they start blogging and then they quit, and then their results go to their sponsor, and they never see the results because they quit too soon. Because that's how blogging works. If you ask Tracy, if you ask anybody here who's been a blogger, you ask me. It took me 90 days to really get my blog off the ground, and it was just off the ground. It wasn't even floating yet. You know what I mean? So in any case, I've already started to see the organic growth take off in Kalatu, and it's only been in pre-release for like a month, right, with a few private beta testers, and it just started, the traffic in it has just started to grow like crazy, and the blog posts have just started to go crazy on that platform. It hasn't really taken off yet, all right? We haven't launched any of the new funnels that even talk about it. We have no funnel right now talking about Kalatu. We have like a, you know, beta page. It's like sign up for early access to Kalatu, and our sales videos sell our old platform. We don't even have a funnel that sells it yet, right? But also, all the stuff that we have on our site right now, and I want you guys to think about this, we're doing a lot of sales right now. Sales have already picked up before any of this stuff is happening that I'm talking about right now. Sales have already picked up, right? They're already back on the same track in the same pattern that was happening just before Atlanta. That's where they are. Now we have more sales than we had in Atlanta because we have a bigger group here. That was the company was more new, right? But it's already back growing on the same track as sales grew before Atlanta, and we haven't even released any of our new stuff yet. Okay, so this is already happening, and our new stuff isn't even out. But here's the thing about our new stuff is it's like 100 times better than the stuff that we had when we grew out of Atlanta. I mean, all of our sales videos, if you guys go back, I mean, they were good because I can sell, you know what I mean? But if you go back to our old sales videos that really did about $150 million in sales, I mean, they're me standing in front of a whiteboard doing like an hour-and-a-half long Amway presentation explaining why you need to buy the Costa Rica Intensive. And then you buy the Costa Rica Intensive, and you go to another hour-and-a-half long whiteboard presentation, again, right, selling the 15K formula. And then you buy the 15K formula, and then you go through another hour-and-a-half long presentation selling the master's course, right? Because when I got started online, that's how I knew how to sell. I'd sold in hotel rooms. I'd sold on whiteboards. I'd done home meetings, right? And so I had really developed a skill for selling like that, and it worked well. But it wasn't a scientific funnel. It wasn't something that we could split test, because in order to change anything, I had to change everything in the whole video, because it was all one-shot, hour-and-a-half long videos. That's everything that we had on our website, right? And so what we're releasing now is just totally different. The whole thing's scientific. The whole thing's split testable. The whole thing's modular and can be translated into every language we're in. All of our new products are already in 6 languages, right? Because they're easier to translate into those languages. The content in all the core product is evergreen, and all of our real content training, we have a strategy for that we'll be talking about at the next event. That really is going to focus around all-in members. But the reality is, guys, is our company right now is like, imagine if you go back to where we were in Atlanta and you knew what you know now, which is Empower Network from that event was going to do $150 million in sales and create 50 millionaires, and you knew that then, you would have worked differently, wouldn't you? Right? Let's just be real, right? If you can see the future, you know what's going to happen, you work differently than if you can't. If you know what's going to happen in the future and it's really positive, like if you knew the future of the stock market, wouldn't you gamble with your money a little differently in the stock market? You know what I mean? You wouldn't go into the stock market and be all nervous about everything, because you know how the companies are going to play out. You know where to put your money, you know, and to put it there, right? So obviously, hindsight's 20/20. But if you would have known what would happen from Empower Network from Atlanta, you would have worked totally and completely differently. All of you, right? All of you. Well, I have a rare gift, and I can't see the future, but I have a gift of being able to see large patterns of things coming together, right? And the reason why I'm excited is because of the patterns of all the things that I'm seeing happening in Empower Network right now before we even put out any of our cool stuff. Because what we have now, it's like what we had before Atlanta, except a real company with real processes for all the things that make it work, and every part of the process and the whole thing, we know how to improve and know how to track it, okay? And we have people and teams and systems in place who are doing nothing but that, right? So every part of the funnel can be improved, every part of the traffic can be optimized. Mark my words, 18 months ago, from what we're going to be doing from a marketing perspective, Empower Network won't just be as big as it was before. We will be the largest thing, right, anywhere remotely close to anything like us that exists. We will be massive in 18 months from now because of the plans that we've got on a corporate side. I mean, the new funnels, and I've looked through the whole thing now, is not only 10 times better than what we had before, it's going to help all of you guys with your upsells. I mean, if you're not empowered, you should just get in right now and just trust me in this. This stuff is all coming out probably for everybody early next week. It's actually done today from a technical perspective, and they're putting it up and testing it and stuff like that. And then we're going to release it and let a few of the leaders go through it to make sure there's no bugs, and then put it out to everybody, because we want to make sure that what we put out works. But we have a gamified upsell process for you as an affiliate of Empower Network. It's gamified. What does that mean that it's gamified? What it means, guys, is that there's an interactive upsell process where people actually have like tracking meters that keep track of where they're at in the process, that only goes up as they're going through the process of being upsold and making little commitments along the way, right? It's awesome. And it's just the first version of it. And version 2 is coming out about 6 weeks from now. And I'm not even going to tell you what's there because I don't want to overpromise. I'm just telling you we got some cool stuff. That we've been working on now for months and months and months, and then all last year. All of our new products haven't been released yet, right? And so you guys are in this unique place at this unique time, where right now you can join Empower Network if you're not in. You can get all in with Empower Network and not only get access to all of our old products, you're also going to get free access to all of our new products as well that we've been working on for this last year, okay? It's just a unique time for you. So I want you guys to realize you're in a special place and get excited, right? Now here's the thing. A lot of you guys, and I'm just going to talk straight here, a lot of you guys have been in for a while, and you're predominantly who I want to talk to tonight. If you're not in, there's a join button, okay, and just get in, okay? Join with whoever got you here. There's a link at the top of the page. Just click the join button, get in. I believe there's a link there where you can get in, and you can, excuse my voice here, you can get in and you can get the blog and the affiliate fee for like $7. It's a limited time thing. We're taking it off this site. If you don't act, it's going to be removed, okay? So if you want to get in through that link. And if you're on here and if you're an affiliate, send an email out and say, hey, you got to get on this hangout, all right? But I'm going to talk to the people that are in right now. And here's why. Because we have way more people that are in and who are on this hangout than are going to Vegas in this team. That's why, right? Whether you're on my team, I invited my list here, whether you're on Tracy's team, we're all really part of one big team. There's way more people that are in that are in and going to Vegas, all right? We have an event coming up in Las Vegas in like, what, a week, 10 days or something like that? I mean, it's a short time. We don't have a lot of time till this event in Las Vegas, all right? But a lot of you guys are here, and you've been in for a year, you've been in for 6 months, you attend the hangouts, nobody knows who you are, right? And you've been in for like a year, and for some reason, like we can't install into your cabeza, right, that you need to get your ass to Las Vegas, right? And I don't know really what to do because I don't have superpowers and I can't smack you through the computer screen, you know? But if I could, I probably would do that. You have a 3D hand come through the computer screen, slap you across the face. In fact, if you're not going to Vegas, you can just lift up your own hand, give yourself a good whack, right? That might be a good idea. But you need to get your ass to Vegas if you're an Empower Network. Now, most people wouldn't say ass, especially most company owners, but sometimes you need to just call people out, right? Now, here's why. Here's why. This is not a decision of whether or not to go to Las Vegas that you're making or not making by deciding to go or not go. It's not, right? You haven't made the real decision yet. See, the problem with adults is, and really the problem with human beings, is all the time they think they make decisions, but they really don't make decisions, right? Making a decision to buy a course is not making a decision to go through it. It's not, right? So, for example, like people buy books all the time. I've got a couple of books right here, right? And this is a book I'm actually like 2/3 through, right? It's a Moonwalking with Eyes. Anyways, most people, right? What do? They buy a book, and has anybody here, if you've ever bought a book and have not completed reading it, you just type yes in the comments, right? Moonwalking with Einstein, Paul. Anyways, a lot of people here, and most of you, in fact, everybody here, I hope, is normal, right? Maybe you're abnormal, and everything you buy, you go through. Who in here, though, you bought a book and you've not read it, okay? You bought a course, you haven't gone through it, right? You bought a video course online, you didn't complete it, right? And you started college, you didn't finish it, right? You started taking martial arts, you quit. You know, I was a martial artist growing up, and Paul could verify this, right? Because he goes to, you know, he trains MMA, he trains Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and mixed martial arts, right? And Paul, how many people they go to the school? They're going to be the most badass fighter of all time. They're going to be the king. You know what I mean? They're going to go 2 hours a day every day. They're going to be in the best shape of their life, especially because it's New Year, right? And then you don't see them again after the first class. How many? Almost everybody, right?
Like 95%, yeah.
Because it's easy to say I made a commitment, but to actually follow through on it is different. You know what I mean? Like how many of you made New Year's resolutions and you already are breaking them, right? See, most people don't follow through on their commitment. See, if I buy a book, if I haven't read it, it's because I haven't read it yet, right? I go through everything I buy. Right? I might not, if it's something that doesn't have a lot of value or something, I might put it back down and pick up something else and say, oh, that was a bad purchase, right? But if it's good, you better believe I'll complete the whole thing. I bought a 600-page book the other month off the internet, and I went to the Office Max, printed the whole thing, and I'm 3/4 through that too, in addition to this book that I'm reading, because I go through what I buy because I like to follow through on the commitments that I make to myself, to my family, to the people around me, right? Now, here's the real commitment that you haven't made if you're not going to Vegas, and I'm telling you, you've not made the commitment. You have not made the commitment to succeed doing this. You haven't, right? If you don't have your ticket to Las Vegas and you're not going to that event, because you're not making a decision to go to the event. Because when you make a decision that you're going to do this no matter what, you don't have to make a new decision, right? A new decision every single time we're doing something. See, the problem with you guys is every time we do something, you have to make a new decision about it, right? Oh, I need to make a decision whether to go to the Las Vegas event. I went to the Chicago event, but I need to make a decision on whether or not I'm going to go to the Denver event. I went to the Denver event, but I need to make a decision on whether or not I'm going to go to the regional event. Oh, I went to the regional event. I need to make it. So you're making all the time. You're wondering, am I in? Am I out? Am I in? Am I out? You're not hot. You're not cold. You haven't made a decision at all that you're going to succeed at this. Well, if you're that wishy-washy, how is anybody going to follow you? Nobody's going to follow you ever, right? And I'm just being real. I'm not insulting you. Understand? I used to be like this too. I used to be like, I don't know if I'm going to go. I don't know if I could make this one, right? Because I wasn't committed myself. See, because if this is what you're going to do, you don't make a decision every single time you have to do something because the decision was made then, right? The decision was made then, right? A lot of people are like that in everything. It's like you're in a relationship, you're in a marriage, but you don't really know if you want to be with that person or not. Every day you're making up your mind again. You know what I mean? It's hard to be around a person like that, isn't it? Right? You ever been around a person? It's difficult to be around a person like that, right? Always deciding whether or not I'm going to start my blogging challenge today. It's a lot more easy to make a decision once, and then from then on you follow the commitments no matter what because they're your commitments, than it is to have to go through the emotional energy of making a decision every day all year long. Because one actually produces a result. It actually gets you to where you want to go. The other one, right? You stay in the same spot, repeating the same pattern, the same failure, the same bullshit all year long. That's the truth. See, we call this the Dream Team. It's Tracey Walker's team. And she's got, why is her team always represented on the calls and stuff? Well, because they're a team. She's a team builder. She wrote a book on it, right? She's talented, right? See, the reason why is because Tracey Walker decided to create the Dream Team, and you notice she's never questioning doing the things that she has to do every time she has to do it because she made that commitment 3 years ago. Once. One time. Okay? That's way easier than failing. Failing is hard. I'm telling you, failing is tough work. You got to all the time be wondering and doubting yourself. You know, am I going to do it? Am I not going to do it? Am I going to go to the MMA gym? Am I not going to go today? Am I going to go work out? You know how gyms make their money? From all the people that don't go. You can build a gym big enough for all the active members in any gym that makes any money. You can't, right? Well, how do they make their money? You go and you pay a subscription because it's the new year and you're going to look fit, right, for the first time in like 5 years, and you're going to do it this time, and they get you on a 12-month subscription, and if you cancel it, there's a fee, and you don't go again, and you are the ones they make money off of. They don't make money from the people that go. They lose money. All gyms, right? Why? They can't make enough money from the people that go, right? Can't make it. They can't build a gym big enough if everybody went to the gym. Wouldn't be a good business model. They'd have to charge $300 a month to get all the equipment to make it nice enough, to make it big enough, right? But people don't commit, right? They don't decide, or they don't burn the bridges of other options. They stay stuck, right? Now my question for you is, have you decided? If you've decided, type yes that you've decided. Type I've decided, right? When you decide you're going to do something, you make a decision one time, and you'll be at our events 5 years from now. See, I made a decision. You notice there's some other people in Power Network that didn't make a decision to build Empower Network. See, I made a decision to build Empower Network, right? When I started the company, I was starting something long-term. Now, nobody else knew that, I think, right? Nobody else knew that what I was building was long-term, I think, when I started it, but people started to figure it out a few months in, a few people, right? And then they made commitments to be long-term, a few of them, right? And then the group got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, right? But I think people thought, you know, this is one of these things, like, you know, network marketing VT, or it's like one of these things, like, what's that thing, I always forget, the Freedom Fighters Network. Where are they? Now, I love those guys. Keep in mind, they're my friends, right? But where are they, right? We're going to fight freedom by, you know, closing down in 2 months, you know? Well, we're gonna build a team by jumping to the New Deal because we're extreme together, right? Now, here's the deal, guys. When you commit to something, you don't redecide all the time. See, I'm never going to turn my back on Power Network. I won't do it, right? I won't do it, you know? Like, I'm just one of those people. I just won't do it, right? And I'll tell you guys, with all the things that we've innovated this last year, it's a new company, right? And I've said this on a few hangouts that I've been mentioning this on. I don't think people really understand what I'm talking about, though. It would be easier for me, cost less money, take less people to start a new company with all this new stuff than it is to fix Empower Network. That's the truth. When something goes wrong in a business and you actually go through the process of fixing it, it's more work than just starting something new. However, right, if I did that, that's not staying true, number one, of my vision. Number two, it's not staying true to the people that are trust me with their teams, right? But number three, we lose something. See, right now, what's Empower Network? It's a 3-year-old, $150 million proven successful business model. 2 more years, we're going to have 5 years under our belt. Now, I know everybody thinks the hot new deal is the easiest thing in town to grow. It's not, right? How do I know? Well, just look at all the hot new deals. Like, for example, Empower Network. Where have people gone in Empower Network, right? You want me to name them off? Let's just call names. And now, by the way, I'm not insulting anybody who's done any of these things. I forgive you if you've done any of these things. I'm just telling you the history of what's happened. We had a big group real early on go to Vitalis. What happened? They went to Vitalis, did $10 million in sales. It started to fizzle out. Then when they started promoting Empower Network again, Vitalis kicked them all out, and they all came back to Empower Network. That was the first one that happened. What else happened, right? What else have people gone to? Well, there's a big group of people that went to Wake Up Now, right? Where are they? Not in Wake Up Now anymore, right? Why not? Well, because Wake Up Now was losing $7 million, $10 million, $15 million a year and surviving from investor money. I actually think it's still around, but if they keep doing that, it's because they got somebody amazing around running the thing, but all their distributors seem to be running from the deal, right? Because they lost their founder or something like that. So now all those people are back. We had a whole bunch of people go to the Cybernetico thing. I can't remember what it was. Where are they? They're back. We had a bunch of people go to Freedom Fighters Network. Where are they? They're back, right? Again and again and again and again, people jump to the hot new deal, chasing a shiny ball, thinking it's easier to promote, because it is easier to promote for 10 days, 30 days, 20 days, and then what happens? The same bullshit that happens to all of them, because none of these businesses have sustainable ways of growing online. None of them. They don't know how to do it because the founders don't know how to do it, right? Because the reps don't know how to do it, because the reps that did it in another company like Empower Network never understood it in the first place, right? Well, that's happened to us again and again, because it's very difficult to understand all of the pieces of something you're participating in, right, that literally takes an army of people to make work properly, right? Like if you guys looked at the amount of people it takes to make Empower Network work the way that it works, it's unbelievable. I mean, we got tech teams in multiple countries, we got customer service teams, legal teams, operating compliance, design teams, right, coders, people writing blog articles, people writing emails, people sending out text messages. You think I send out all those text messages and emails? I mean, I don't have 8,000 hours a day, guys. You know what I mean? I work, I blog, right? But you know, the reality is that this takes a big team of people to do. So we get a rep in here and they're successful a little bit, or they make more money than they've ever made in their entire lives, and all of a sudden they go from humble to thinking they're the shit. And then they turn into a piece of shit. And it's okay, because sometimes you got to turn into a piece of shit, repent, right, and then turn back into what made you great, which was a humble person who's willing to submit your ego and put it aside and learn every day, right? I'm just talking about the truth, guys. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, because I'm not. Because I got a lot of people around me advising me on different stuff, because I know I'm not the smartest person with everything. I might be real smart in a couple of areas, right? People always tell me I'm real smart, so probably I am, right? But my intelligence is very focused and limited, right? Very focused and limited. You know, Mars was impressed the other day because I was filming the 5th video in this internal sequence that we just built called the Level Up sequence that we're going to be releasing this next week, okay, through the community, and then releasing out in the market at large, right? And he sent me over this outline, popped on Skype, I flipped my camera on, and then I did the presentation, 30 minutes, one take, as the sun was going down in the background, hitting every single beat in his whole outline in order. And it was like a 5-page outline with bullet points, and he only gave it to me like 2 hours before. And he was like, what the hell just happened? I thought I was going to have to stop you and start again and stop you and start again, but you just... And I said, oh, I memorized that, like when you gave it to me. It took me 10 minutes, right? Well, you know, some people are smart in certain areas, right? But I'm not good at everything. I'm not good at managing internal teams, for example. I need someone for that. I need teams for that, people who can do it, right? I'm not the best copywriter in the world. I'm just not. You know what I mean? I'm not the best at most things. I'm really good in a couple of things. You know what I'm saying? You need big teams. So we get some rep in here who's humble and listens, and they're really what they are, they're a soldier. You know what I mean? Because soldiers can make a lot of money in a good direct sales company. You don't need to know everything. You can be a soldier and have success, right? Most of the success in Empower Network is created by soldiers. A real visionary is a rare person. And you don't need to be a real visionary. I'm not talking about having a dream and having a vision, guys. I'm talking about a person whose destiny it is in life to create something, to create movements and things. They're rare people. They're rare people. And I'm not saying you're not one, and I'm not saying a visionary is better than other people. It's a role in society. See, everybody sees all these different people in society, and they want to participate in somebody else's role. There's nothing wrong with making $2 million a year as a soldier, guys. There's nothing wrong with it, right? But soldiers sometimes think that, right? So these commandos, they get off, and all of a sudden, you know, they're making $1 million a year, or they're making $500,000 a year, and rather than dressing the way they used to dress, now they take their shirt off and pretend like they're Rambo the soldier. But they're not, right? And so what do? They jump to a new thing, go through the same cycle that repeats itself all the time, and then what happens is they say, shit, I'm going back to Empower Network and being a soldier again. I'm going back and being a dreamer again. I'm going back and being part of the family again, right? See, the way I operate and the way I do things is actually really weird to be around if you ever get around me, right? I don't manage anything at all, ever, right? And I literally create stuff around me by just talking to people, and people literally just go off and they start doing it on their own and managing their own processes and building their own things just by talking to me. And it's really weird to meet somebody that does that, and it's happening everywhere in my life, right? And so people look at me and they don't understand how I've created what I've created, but it's because my heart and my vision attracts the right people to fulfill those missions, because I am somebody who has a calling, who has a kind of a weird blessing on my life to be a visionary, to speak vision into other people, and to help them create their vision and dream that's been in their heart their whole life. They've never had an opportunity to create. That's my purpose. That's what I do, right? It's who I am. That's who I am. Something that can't be taught. It's part of my heart. You know what I mean? That's who I am. So I go out and I do these things, and people try to model like Empower Network or something, and it's not an easy thing to knock off. I just go try it. I actually welcome you at this. I used to discourage people from trying it because I knew how hard it was, but now I'm like, go fucking try, dude. You know what I mean? Go try, and just remember who your daddy is, right? And I want you guys to realize something, that if you want to be a part of something great and participate in something great and be great within it, it's different than creating it, right? And it's a different kind of person that are going to do the two. And both are welcome in Empower Network. Both, right? All kinds of different people can operate within this community and still have massive success here, right? But you got to decide that you're going to do this or not, right? Are you going to do it or not? I'm going to try it. I'm going to dip my toe in the water. Oh, I'll go to an event when I'm making money from it. When I'm making money, I'm going to go to the event. Oh, when I make some money, I'm going to get all in, right? Oh, when I see it start working, I see my team, you know, start building, you know, then I'm going to make a commitment to do it. You know what I mean? And you just watch as all these other people that are committed to their future and vision pass you by like you don't even exist. And you're frustrated by it. But it's your responsibility, because they're taking responsibility for their own future and their own dreams, not you. See, there's like saying that if you're not out there creating your vision, you're going to work for somebody who is creating their vision, right? You're going to work for somebody who is. If you're not participating in it, you're going to work for somebody else who is. You're going to be a worker bee. Now, that's okay because the world needs worker bees, right? But it might not be what you want. You see that spit booger there? That's because I'm getting passionate. Actually, probably needs to drink some water. I have these famous spit boogers that develop when I speak sometimes. Most people don't talk about their flaws. I got lots of them, right? I'm actually bad at most things, but I'm really good at a few things, and I know what I'm good at, right? And I don't try to be good at anything else. I don't try, right? Because I know that I'm going to just fall on my face, and that it'll take me off my vision, right? So here you are, you're watching this, and you might not even know what I'm talking about, and you're definitely not know what I'm talking about after I'm through. But you're in a special place at a special time. Empower Network is right now where we were before Atlanta from a growth perspective. We are, right? Except for we have processes in place to sustainably grow. That's the difference. In Atlanta, I don't think any of us really knew why we were growing the way we were growing. I knew the most of it, right? There were other people that knew parts of it, but none of us really knew all the parts that were at play to make us do what we were doing, right? There wasn't processes for anything. It was all just being done from inspiration and stuff. You know what I mean? Well, that's great to create something, but to really get to the next level, you've got to take that creation, you've got to break it down into a process, systematize it, and make it scalable, right? That's what we've done now, right? And you'll see the first phases of it. You've seen the first phases of it starting to come out, but you're going to see the real first steps of that, next week, okay? And that's going to be the first steps. And those steps are the most important steps. Because the question for you being on this hangout is, are you going to do this or not? Now look, you're welcome to not, but make a decision one time. Don't torture yourself all the time. If you're going to make a decision and do it and it takes you a while, then it takes you a while and you're still going to follow your commitments until you get it. You're not making a decision all the time. Maybe you'll be frustrated, but frustration isn't, I have to make a decision again. Am I really going to do it or not? That's what people are doing all the time. It's crazy. It takes so much emotional energy to maintain a state of indecision all your life. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm going to be in, but, you know, should I go to the event or should I not? Make the decision that you're going to do it or not. If the answer is no, go work a job somewhere. Be a carpenter. Be happy cleaning houses. Be happy being a lawyer. But don't beat yourself up every day. You can have our products and be inspired by the inner circle or something like that. But for heaven's sakes, stop beating yourself up over something you're not going to do anyway. Do it or not. And if you're going to do it, stop recommitting all the time on all the things that you're not committed to because you never made the decision. Do it! Pull out your credit card and do it if you're going to do it. Get all in if you're going to get all in. And if you're not, don't be wishy-washy about it. Look, I learned a long time ago, objections, right, are just bullshit. There are only reasons, right? And there's only like maybe 2 reasons, okay, that somebody's not going to do something, okay? And that's it. Everything else is bullshit. The 2 reasons are you don't have the ability. Okay, that's a reason. Like, for example, there actually is not money there, but what there should be in space of that is there's not money there yet. How can I get it if you're going to do it? Because if you have no money, you're going to do it or not. Same thing. Are you going to get to Vegas or not? Well, I don't have any money. I didn't ask that. I asked, are you going to do it or not? Well, on Friday, the ticket price is going to go increase, and so if you don't have any money, you better come up with money before Friday because then at least you have a chance of going. But are you going to get there or not, right? So I don't have the ability is one, and that's actually a reason. It's not an excuse. It's not an objection. And the other one is I don't want to, right? That's a reason, right? If you don't want to do this, quit. You know what I'm saying? If in your heart of hearts you're sitting here, you're like, I don't want to do this. Okay. Wait, you're not going to twist my arm? You're not going to use NLP on me? You're not going to use hypnosis and hypnotize me and make me pull out my credit card? No, quit. If you don't want to do it, quit. What do you want to do? Go do that. Budget. Right? That's Spanish for get out of here. Go. You don't want to do it? Quit. Get out of here. We don't want to convince you to do something every day for the rest of your life. You can have our products if you want to keep them and go through them and be inspired by them and go do what you want to do. Right? Get the fuck out of here. But if you're going to do it, stop giving us fucking bullshit because we've been where you're at and we don't take that bullshit from ourselves. We get it done. You know what I mean? We get it done. Paul, you know how many times Paul Gardiner's called me up or hit me up with a message and given me a page of bullshit about why he can't, why he won't, why it's not working? Never! Because he's not making excuses every fucking day. You know what I mean? Damn it. stop it, right? Do it or don't. But if you're going to do it, step it up. Don't jump in the shiny new deal, because it's not going to make you money anyway if you're not a leader. And if you are a leader, it's only going to make you money for a little while, right? Don't get distracted for months building a team system when you don't know what the fuck you're doing, all right? Don't all the time wonder if you should be at the event or not. Don't all the time wonder if there's a secret. Just go do it. You know what I mean? You're in the right place at the right time. And if you miss out, it's your fault, not ours. Tracy's not going to miss out. Paul's not going to miss out. You know what I mean? I'm not going to miss out. You're going to be the one that misses out. That's your doing, not my doing. I'm inviting you. You know what I mean? I always like to quote Jesus because he's got all these cool stories, but I grew up Mormon, so I have lots of them in my head. Probably some of them are from like the Mormon Jesus stories, which aren't in the Bible, but I could never remember. But there's this great saying, and I think it's actually in Revelation, where Jesus says, I stand at the door and knock. Behold, I stand at the door and knock, he says. But if you don't grab the handle and open the door and let success into your life, it doesn't matter how hard we knock. So maybe we need to slap your face instead. You know what I mean? Maybe that'll get your attention. We're at the door, we're saying, come through this way, right? This is the way, these are the steps, there are no secrets anywhere along the process. And here you are. Now what's the secret? When I know that, I'll go to all the events after I'm making money. No, you won't, because you'll never make any money with that crappy pile of shit attitude, right? That's like, I'll treat my wife nice when she finally starts giving me more sex. Oh, wow, that's not going to work, is it, ladies? You know what I mean? Isn't it? It's funny, isn't it? That's what people do. You know what I mean? That's what people do. You know what I mean? You know? Oh, you know what? I just want to get my downline to blog. I don't want to do it. Oh, I just want to, qualify for the master's course by getting 2 sales and pass one up. I'm cool with that. I just want to get I want other people to do all this stuff, but not me. I don't need to do that. It's not for me. Can you count me on the course? Wait. I know it's in the product, Tracy. I know you told me the answer to my question is in the product, and you told me which product and which module it's in. But come on, can you just tell me? Don't have a lot of time. I would go to the event, Dave. I'd go to the event, but, I've been to one of those things before, and I didn't make any money. Shut the fuck up and stop being an asshole. If you're going to do it, and if you're not going to do it, quit, but stop throwing bullshit into the universe because God sees right through it, doesn't he? I mean, it's like could you sit there in front of an all-knowing being and tell him that bullshit? No, you'd feel like just so shitty, wouldn't you? Because you can't say nothing. You know, if you're not succeeding, it's your responsibility. Not mine. I have a vision. It's my responsibility to carry out I'm creating a playground, okay? I'm knocking on the door. We're here, right? Providing you a gateway. We're here on a train inviting you to step on. But you can get on or stay off. And if you're not on, you're not on. And we'll drive by to the Golden City without you. Getting passed by is not fun. It's happened to me. Because I was an asshole too one day. And maybe I am right now. And why can I talk like this? Because, guys, look, you think that I could have made up all the bullshit in the world about why I couldn't have done this when I was homeless? And then I moved into my parents' house. Do you think that I could have just sat there and just came up with every reason under the sun why I couldn't do it because I was like 27 and living with my parents? Do you think that, or 28, I can't remember how old I was, it was 2009, so I was 28, okay? 28 years old, living with my parents, still broke. You think I could have made up excuses why I couldn't do the webinar? I needed to wait till later to start doing webinars because, like, I needed to get somebody else successful to do it, and, like, I couldn't do it because I didn't have any proof. You know what I mean? I could have come up with all the excuses in the world. But excuses and success never exist in the same person at the same time. If you're making excuses, it's okay, because we've all bet every single person on this panel has one time had excusitis, which is the failure disease, right? Every single one of them, right? And they got over it, right? One day they had enough failure and they're like, wait a second. No matter what I'm doing, I keep having this failure. Maybe the problem is I'm being an asshole. Maybe it is. You know, why should we have to show up and convince you to do something like get all in? When if you don't do it, you're never going to get somebody else to do it. And if you don't get somebody else to do it, you're never going to get a person a week to do it. And if you don't do that, your odds of going out and making $10,000 a month are about none. See our income disclosure. Would love to have a section of all-in people versus not all-in, and people that have been in for 3 years versus people that just started yesterday on there to really show you the odds. People that go to our events versus people that don't. You know what I mean? If you don't go to Vegas, your chances of capitalizing on what we create in 2015 are about 0. You know where all the sales came from in 2012? People in Atlanta. Right? You know where all the sales came from in 2013? People in Austin. First event of the year. All of it. Right? If you don't go, you're telling the universe, don't send people into my life to help me get what you have put in my heart for me to do. Don't do it. Because I'm not listening. Right? Tracey Walker's, she posts a law of attraction quote on her wall, like, every day. Right? Do you ever read them? You know what I mean? I actually read those things, you know? And the reality is that it's good stuff. Every single day there's something there that you can go read about the law of attraction, right? Here's something I can tell you about attracting people, resources, money, beautiful women or hot men or whatever it is for you, great relationships, great sex, riches and fantastic dreams, right? Step 1 is you got to open your heart, okay? You got to open your heart and be humble. Because if you're not creating it right now, you don't know how, you don't have the resources, you don't have the people to help you. Or it's because your heart's not open and you're not letting them in. So admit you don't know how yet. And say, I want those people in my life to teach me, and when they show up, I am going to listen and be a student that listens and obeys. You say, be obedient? Yeah. I mean, I wish I could just give you commandments and tell you the truth, that these are the orders that I'm giving you, like a general, and you just had to carry them out because I could just create success in all of you. But I can't do that because you're a volunteer. If you want to stay, stay. If you want to go, go. Right? But if you stay, if you're going to stay, you might as well succeed. You know what I mean? It's like, if you're going to do this, if you're going to be here, why not succeed at the same time? Because it actually doesn't take any more time to succeed than it does to fail. Like, both people, successful people and failures, same amount of hours in the day, relative similar levels of intelligence. You know what I mean? You might find somebody who's really smart at one thing and really dumb at another. You know? You might find, like, somebody who's really good at fighting and maybe they can't do math. I don't know if Paul Gardner's good at math. I actually have no clue. Maybe he's not. I don't know. Right? Somebody who's really good at grammar but really bad at selling. You know? People have strengths and weaknesses. People who are really good at listening usually aren't good talkers. People who are really good talkers usually aren't good listeners. Right? People who are really, really, really strong usually aren't very responsive when they start learning martial arts because they let themselves plow through with their big-ass muscles, right? People have strengths and weaknesses. You have strengths and weaknesses. If you're not creating the results that you want right now, there's something you don't know right now. And maybe the universe is calling to you, saying, hey, I'm knocking on the door. Get your ass to Vegas. You're going to learn how to get the results that you want in Vegas. Vegas, 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 Vegas. And you're like, so how am I going to learn the secret? You know what I mean? Oh, goodness gracious. It's like that story, there's like a preacher, and there's a big flood in town, right? And, what happens is it starts to flood, and a big old car with big tires drives by, and they say, hey, you want to get in the car? And he says, no, God will save me. And then the water lifts a little bit higher, goes to the first floor in his house, and the first boat goes by. And they say, hey, man, you want to get on? We're getting out of town. And he says, no, God will save me. And then the water goes a little bit up, and, a bigger boat goes by this time, with the rescue crew. And they're like, hey, dude, I want to get on the boat. And he's like, no, I can't get on because God is going to save me. And then he climbs on top of the roof, and the water goes up to the top of the roof, and a helicopter comes by, throws down a ladder, and they say, hey, it's your last chance, get on. And he says, God will save me. And then the waters come and wash him away, and he drowns. And he goes up to heaven at the pearly gates, gets to see the face of God. And he says, God, I had faith, man. Why didn't you save me? And God said, look, asshole, I sent a boat, another boat, and a helicopter because you were there, and I love you. And I was knocking, saying, get on the boat and get your ass to Vegas. I love twisting things just a little. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do I need to say? You know what I mean? What do I need to say? So people are like that. You know what I mean? People are like that, right? I've had a lot of interesting experiences in my life because my attention is just like, I'm like more ADD than anybody in the world probably. And so I don't pay attention to normal things. I pay attention to weird things, right? So I experience a lot of weird stuff because I'm always paying attention to it because my attention, I'm always distracted like this, right? And I have to focus through like this massive cloud all the time to even think straight, right? And how my brain works. If you guys are real ADD or something, you understand. That ADB actually stands for Attention Deficit Benefit. Anyways, so, it's like one time, okay? One time, right? I wanted an answer to a question, right? And for me, what I do is I think about it and think about it and think about it, and I'm so persistent, guys. I'm so persistent with stuff that it's like, like the most persistent person you could imagine with everything. That's how I am all the time, all right? That's how I am all the time. When I want something, I'm just like I'm like, I lock onto that thing like a pit bull on a bone. You know what I mean? And you try to get that thing out, and you drag the whole pit bull along with his neck and his feet across broken glass, and he won't let go. Right? That's how I am with everything. Right? So one time I have this question drive me crazy. Right? And I'm in England. And what happens is, this is the weirdest thing. Right? I was a missionary at the time. Right? I'm just crazy. I'm not going to tell you what the question is or what the answers were, but I had this question. Right? And so here's what happened. True story. Every day for 50 days straight. 50 days straight, okay? I was walking down the street, and a person, totally random, would be standing there, turn around, walk up to me, and say, something just like put some sort of feeling in my heart, and I had to come tell you this story, and they'd tell me a crazy story, right? Happened to me 50 days in a row. That's the kind of stuff that happens when you start paying attention and looking for the right guidance in your life. You start running into it all over the place, right? But if you're closing the door, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I can't help somebody with a hard heart. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. I can't. There's nothing I can do. I can't punch it into submission. You know, I can't cuss it into submission, obviously. You know, because otherwise you'd fucking open your heart. You know, can't help you. But I can help somebody that is open to the people that are showing up in their life. A lot of you, you're on here, and you've been praying and praying and praying and praying. God, give me an opportunity, 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 give me an opportunity. And you're like, oh no, I can't go to Vegas. I just need the right mentor, I just need the right mentor, I just need the right mentor. Man, if I just got the right mentor in my life, if I got somebody to lead me and guide me and walk with me and show me what to do. Oh no, I can't go to Vegas, I don't have the money. What's the secret? What's the secret? What's the secret? Universe, what's the secret? What's the secret? Oh, getting all in, I'll do that when I have money. I'm not going to go through those products, you know. Oh yeah, I bought those products, but I haven't opened them. Oh, the 8 core commitments? No, I don't do those. I just market. Like all the other broke marketers that have to rebuild everything all the fucking time. You know? Where do we go? Where the fuck is it? Where the fuck is it? I mean, 3 weeks ago, it was in every social feed on Facebook. I can't fucking find it anywhere. Where the fuck is it? Gone. Into the mysterious wind. They're having a secret event. I actually tried for 30 minutes today. I was like, where is this stupid fucking thing, right? And so I go on all these Facebook walls and finally dig up a link to their event, go to the page with a video, right, of somebody going to the fucking Doobly event, and it had 8 views on it. I guess their traffic rotator didn't work. You know what I mean? I was like, guys, you can't build a big team from paid traffic. It doesn't work. Oh, this is the most scalable shit in the universe. If God had money, he'd dump it into this paid traffic because I have all the paid traffic guys in the universe excited about our 100 funnels that we're building. Okay. Awesome. They've been around for 7 years, did 18 million last year, reported a loss every fucking year in business. You know what I mean? It's like, you're welcome for the $2 million that I helped you earn. I'll get your affiliate position back to $100,000 a month. Thanks for the check, and I'll take a photo and post it on Facebook. Look, I'm just fucking sick of bullshit. You know, I've seen people go in this hamster fucking stupid ass wheel again and 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 again. And I've done dumb things too. You know what I mean? I've made decisions that weren't the best decisions. You know? But you know what? You see people, like, for example, I'm going to give you an example. Help a guy, right, make $1 million, right? Makes $1 million, right? He's on every conference call, promotes every conference call. He's on every webinar, right? Listens to all the inner circle audios, goes through every product, raving about how much he learns and how much it's changed his life. Gets to $1.5 million, stops getting on the conference calls and says they're too long, they need to be shorter. Makes $1.7 million and says, oh, these products need to be shorter, right? Makes $1.8 million and says, oh, no, I never get on those things. They're not detailed enough, right? Makes $1.9 million and goes to the events and starts hanging out in the hallway. And then all his fucking leaders stopped listening to him because he's being a goddamn asshole. Right? Because the humble man that created the $2 million is gone. The humble man is gone. And the heart has become closed. If I close my heart, the same thing happens to me. It's just the way it is. Right? I make mistakes. I don't know everything. I'm not the best marketer in the world. I'm not Frank Kern. As a disclaimer, Frank Kern hates network marketing. You know what I mean? I'm not Tony Robbins. Dave Wood. I've got a limited set of gifts in my life. One time I was at an event, and a guy just went diamond. It was an Amway, right? He'd been in Amway for 20 years. Went emerald in 18 months. I was going to say 3 years, but it's actually, I remember the story, it was 18 months, right? Went emerald, which is half a diamond, right? And he was the shit all of a sudden. I mean, turned in from this guy that called his upline every day saying, man, what do I do? And the upline was like, do this, so you just go do it. And all of a sudden he's like, I went emerald in 18 months. I'm on my way to diamond. I don't need to talk to my upline. I'm not listening to these audios anymore. I'm going to go to the events. I'm going to hang out in Starbucks coffee. You know what I mean? And he stayed in emerald for 17 years. Stuck. Because the man who went emerald was gone. So one day he's in a leaders meeting, and he goes to Brad Duncan, who talks kind of like me. I actually really look up to that guy. Goes to Brad Duncan, right? One of the people I met in that company, he'll just tell you how it is, and if you don't like it, you'll either quit or do what he says. It's just how it is, right? He'll tell you the truth. Goes to Brad, and he's like, dude, am I doing something wrong? But he wasn't really asking. What he was really wanting was validation. You're on the right track. You're doing the right things. But so here's what Brad does. He goes, I will answer that question only if you promise me in advance that you're not going to quit when I tell you the answer. And he's like, okay, I promise. He goes, no. Promise me right now that no matter what I tell you, you're not going to quit. Because I know you're not a quitter. And the guy goes, okay. And Brad goes, no, I need a commitment from you that you will hear what I say, that you'll listen to it, you'll internalize it, and that you won't quit. Because I'm going to tell you the truth if you really want to know. Do you really want to know the answer to that question? Because you're not going to like the answer. I'm telling you now, you will not like it. Right? And he goes, okay. Face changed, got a little bit more humble. Then Brad says, you are a fucking asshole. Your heart is hard. You don't listen to anybody. You pranced around here hanging out in the hallways, not listening at the events. You stopped listening to the audios 17 years ago. Where are your phone calls when you ask me what you need to do next like you used to do 17 years ago? When do you come for a counseling session and sit down and show me your numbers like you used to do 17 years ago? When do you ever ask how to move on and ask for advice for the last 17 years? I've been here saying, if you want my help, reach out to me for 17 years, and you've sat there with your cocky, I went emerald in 18 months, asshole closed heart, stuck because you are being an ass. And if you keep doing it, you're going to be an emerald still in 20 more years, or you're going to fall out of qualification, your income's going to cut in half, because nobody wants to listen to a person who's not willing to be mentored and listen and be humble and open their heart. So you either change or you're going to be stuck forever. And he actually ripped into him for about 30 minutes, not just that. That was what I remember. And he was so mad, he wanted to knock his lights out, quit, and go join a new deal. He was mad for a good 3 days, but he couldn't get out of his mind. And then, what happened? He goes, I have been an asshole, haven't I? He changed. 18 months later, diamond. Same speed, he went emerald. He would have done it in 3 years. Instead, it took him 20. How long are you going to take to get humble? How long are you going to take to submit your ego? David, they don't talk about this in internet marketing. What's the capture page strategy? Internet marketers work 18 hours a day solo and never have any kind of residual income. Always are having to create info products month after month after month. They have to be on webinars 250 days a year, every single year. The second they stop, their income goes down. The market changes, their strategy stops working, and they're always rebuilding and rebuilding and rebuilding and rebuilding and rebuilding, and they never make the kind of money that people in Empower Network do, doing a tenth of the work. So you can go fucking learn how to build capture pages and rebuild what you're doing all the fucking time and never listen to anybody that knows how to do something bigger or better and stay an asshole for the next 20 years. And in 20 years, you want to go get $1 million ring. I'll be like, okay, get your ass to the events, follow the 8 core steps. But the thing is, you might not be in the special timing that you're in right now in 20 years. Now you're in a special time. In your special time, you can do things 5 times faster, 10 times faster, way bigger, right? We're in a special time right now, right? You say, Dave, other people, they don't talk like this. You know what I mean? Now, the other thing is, so I go find this event for this coupon deal. And I look at this page, and it says on the page, it says, will you cuss at the event? And they say, no, our events are professional, for professional people only, and you'll never have to apologize for the conduct of some leaders. We've been to those events too. And I was looking at that thing there, and you know what I said? I said, you asshole. You asshole. You were not like that when I met you. That is not who made $2.5 million. It's not. It's a different person. Person I knew was humble. The person I knew loved his team. The person I knew participated and believed in the community. And somehow they let their heart get hard. I'm not saying he can't make money again. He will, I'm sure. He's persistent. He's smart. I love him. But that's not who created what he has. Remember that. Dexter Yeager was one asked, well, if you go diamond, how do you go double diamond? How do you go double diamond? Right? And he goes, never stop doing what got you to diamond. That's it. One time I was in Kung Fu. A little strange Mexican man was my teacher. It's weird learning Kung Fu from a Mexican, especially a really small, skinny one. And anyways, we started getting lazy in the class. You know, Paul, you've probably been in martial arts where they've done that. You know, you kind of start chitter-chattering too much as you're rolling on the ground grappling, and you kind of stop doing the form as hard and stop resisting as hard to the other opponent. You're just kind of more playing, right? But the problem is if you don't train right, you don't fight right. And if you don't fight right, if you're not training right, if you actually get in a dangerous situation, it's you that creates the problem if you get hurt, because you weren't training right if you're a martial artist, right? So we were being lazy, talking too much, chitter-chattering too much, not focusing when we're doing the drills because they're just in muscle memory, right? Oh, we could just do it. We could just practice. We don't have to resist or anything. And my this little guy, Carlos, he comes out in the room looking furious. I mean, furious, right? Like bloodshot, furious eyes. Really interesting character. And he comes and he goes, "Get into the war room right now." Right? We had a war room. It was a room with a big old Chinese character with a big ass sword on it that apparently in some legend killed 1 million people with his sword. He was like 9 feet tall or something. It might be a true story. Who knows? Chinese people can do amazing things. But anyways, so we go in this room, and it's got this table, you know what I mean, with this big old Chinese character, and he sits right in front of, or he stands, excuse me, didn't sit down, he sits in front of the head, and he goes, sit down. And he puts his hands on the table and just starts breathing like this. Now, that was enough to create some silence in the room. And we kind of sat there, and then he looked up, not really looking at anybody. Slapped his hand on the table and said, "You're being lazy jerks, and it's going to put your life and your family in danger. You're not listening. You're not doing the drills with all your energy and intention. Your heart is not here. And if you will not put your heart into your training in this class, I will quit as your teacher, and I will kick you out of the school, and if all of you continue to be lazy, I will quit and not teach again. Get your ass back in the class, change your attitude, or I'm out of here." Right? You know what changed instantly was all of our nasty attitude. And all of a sudden, the intensity was back, the energy was back, the heart was back. Right? Maybe you could do that. Where's the dream team? Are you guys going to step it up? Are you going to stop wishy-washing? Are you going to start being a leader? Right? Are you going to go get your $1 million ring? Are you going to make Tracey proud? Are you going to make Paul proud? Are you going to be a leader? Are you going to step it up? Are you going to make this shit happen this year? Are you going to get a big team to the event? And am I going to hear the dream team making more noise than any other team in the event, or are you going to let somebody else do it? You know what I'm saying? Where's the dream team? Right? Where's all the people that would rally around innumerable like an army? Right? You going to step it up? Is it your guys' time? Right? You going to stop jumping at the shiny deals? You going to stop getting distracted? You know what I mean? Are you going to start listening to the inner circle again? Are you going to start following the 8 core steps and blogging again? Are you going to be proud to wear the shirts that people wear in the dream team? Am I going to see the red shirts at the event in big numbers? Are you going to do what it takes to get there, even if it's hopping on a bus or hopping on a train? Right? Are you going to borrow money if you have to get all in? Are you drawing a line in the sand that you're going to do it no matter what? Is this the year you're going to quit your job? Is this the year you're going to step into your future? Is this the year that you're going to be the passionate leader that you've always known how to be? Is this your time? Is this your time? Is this time for the dream team again? Where are you? I want to see the dream team shout out. I want to see the dream team every day on Facebook. I want you guys to be proud, getting your camera out and making videos and telling people about what you're doing and say, I'm in the dream team, right? Why do I like the dream team? Because it's about the team. That's why. They're dream builders. You guys got to realize you got to speak life into people, but you got to have life yourself. You got to get your passion back. You got to get your excitement back. We don't want to move on without you. We want to move on with you. We want you guys to come if you want to come, but you got to make a decision. If you're not in, you got to get in. You just click the link and get in. There's a link to join, for heaven's sakes. If you're not in, get in. You know what I mean? But where are you? Where's your passion? Where's your fire? Get it back, man. Get it back. Now's the time. Now's the time. Now's the time for you to win. That's all I got to say, Tracey. Over to you.
Oh my goodness. I'm over here screaming. You guys could tell like by looking at me on the screen, right? Okay. So if that wasn't the most, I don't know, impactful, I don't know, just rant, Dave, that I've ever heard you go on, it was one that got me going, right? It got me going. I mean, I feel like I'm pretty motivated most of the time, but hey, shit, you're my sponsor, and hey, I needed to hear that, right? I needed to give myself a good kicking in the ass, and you did that, and I appreciate that. I'm glad that our team heard that, right? Because I got my ass kicked on national, global, Hangout TV, and hopefully everybody else did too. There's the button. Click the button. Get all in, guys. Make sure that you get your ticket to the event. And now what I want to do is I'm going to turn it right back over to Paul, because I know, Dave, before you get out of here and before I jump off, there were some people that wanted to ask you some very, very specific questions. I know we have time for maybe 1 or 2 minutes for each of the people that are on the panel. I think about 5 of them. So, Paul, if you want to go ahead and call them out and let them go ahead and ask Dave their questions while we're here, we can knock this out, and then we can get everybody off this hangout into production mode, and getting excited about being in Vegas next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dave, that was sick, and I'm gonna actually use this replay in store for any time anybody like tries to give an excuse or piss me off. I'll just be like, hey, check this out, and then just kind of let you do all the work that I would have done. So I appreciate that. And first and foremost, everybody that's watching here right now, I know it's getting a little bit later, right? And if you're still on, congratulations, because if you can survive that, right, everybody like who isn't going to make a decision definitely got off. And for the people that are on the panel are obviously empowered, inspired, and you also got your ass kicked. And I'm pumped up more than ever. So what I want to do is just kind of pre-frame this a little bit, because, you know, I remember when I started January 2013, and Dave might not remember this, but I remember it to this day. You know, back in the, you know, I went to my first event with like a little over $50 to my name, right? I was put in a mental hospital. Nobody believed in what I was doing. But at that point, you know, I made up my mind that I was going to be successful no matter what. Even to the point where, like, I don't know if I ever told this story. You probably heard of it, but my whole entire family and, you know, and my baby mama's family was in the house, and I was so pissed off because I was sent to a damn institution for a damn business that I was like, all right, well, I'm going to give them a reason to think that I'm crazy, right? And at that point, I think I was going crazy, because it's just like I was tired of the bullshit. And, you know, I went into that room, and I just pretty much told everybody, I'm going to do this, that's it, period. And I just stripped butt-ass naked just to kind of shock them. I didn't care. I was like, let me give you a real reason to throw me in a damn hospital. You know what I'm saying? So that being said, you know, I went to my first event, super broke. Everybody pretty much, like, stopped talking to me at that point. Nobody was believing in what I was doing. Had $100 plus to my name. I didn't have any resources. My mother kind of disowned me at that point. I had no one. You know what I mean? I had nobody around to borrow money from. I had nobody. But what I did have was I had a lot of resources that I was like, hey, I have a TV, I have a car, I got a PlayStation. I don't need all that crap. I can just buy it all back, right? Which I did, thanks to the system. Income disclosure, results not typical. But pre-framing this, basically, you know, my first event in January 2013, you know, I was walking by, and then Dave Wood and Dave Sharp were walking by. And, you know, I tried to say hello to him. Maybe Dave was busy or whatever, but just, like, completely ignored me. And I was like, all right, I'm going to make sure that motherfucker knows exactly who the hell I am at that next event. You know what I mean? I was like, who am I? I'm just like this light-skinned crazy guy with crazy hair, not even feeling worthy of even talking to these people. And I just remember, like, even at the next event, you could only get, like, 5 minutes with Dave, and that's really all that I did. And then, like, for a whole year and a half, my mission was just to finally just be able to just sit down and hang out with him. And it took Kim and I like a year and a half, right? A year and a half to finally get his attention, you know, because God bless the man, because he has like 7,000 people plus in his organization, and he doesn't have time for anyone. But you know, the value of when we finally got, you know, that coaching and that mentorship is really what took us to the next level. You know, in 2014, we've been able to make multiple 6 figures online. Again, results aren't typical. There's like a income disclosure below, and that was after a year of struggling, and only brought in like 95 plus people my first year. And Kim and I combined, we only made like $65,000, and we were just tired of the up and down months. We were tired of not creating the results that we wanted. And then we just knew that we needed that mentorship, and we needed that time. And some of you guys have that time now. Like, this is a big deal. Like, you guys don't realize some people have to work their ass off to even get his time. You guys have his time now. So what I encourage you to do tonight, right? Some of you guys are watching this. I know I made some promises to a couple more people that are going to hop on here after some other people ask their questions and then they hop off. But make sure that these questions are the right questions, because when you start asking the right questions, it's inevitable that you get the right answers. And then also take action on it, right? Don't sit there and be an asshole, right? Take action, and your life will change just like Kim and I's did. Because if we can do it, you can do it. So that being said, let's go ahead and start off with, let's just go in a row and start off with Nadia, then Alicia, and then we'll bring out my buddy Vari, Stefan, and then maybe one more person. So this might just take like 20 minutes or so, the most tops, because I know Dave's got to go. So let's just kind of
try. Guys, let's try to keep it to 15 minutes because. Oh wait, hold on a second. I don't know if I'm I'm unmuted. Let's try to keep it about 15 minutes. I got to go at about 10:30 my time, which is in about 15 minutes. So.
Okay, yeah. So let's just kind of just be quick with it. So let's do Nadia, Janelle, Alicia, and then we'll bring 2 more people on, and we'll be good to go. Over to you, Nadia.
Okay. Hi, Dave. Hi, everybody. How are y'all?
Hey, how are you?
Good, thank you. The question that I had for you, since you're like the blogging expert, and I am just now starting out, and for anybody who is starting out, when it comes to blogging, is it wise to talk about multiple topics and have one blog, or is it wise to have one blog designated to just one topic?
I'm gonna be real quick, okay, on this question. First of all, I'm not the biggest blogging expert out there. I'm more of a team building expert. So I'm gonna answer the way that I would answer it, which is the most important thing is that you blog every day and that you learn a little bit about it every day. Okay? Because what's going to happen is you're going to fall into a strategy that works for if you do that, where so I'll give you something specific to do. Like, it's better generally to have a blog that's very focused to a target market, but it's okay to go off and like do things. You just should never feel like, should I blog about this or not? If you feel like blogging about something, blog about it, just put it out there, right? It's generally better to have a focused thing though, but literally the best thing I can tell you is to just start, keep doing it, right? Stay absolutely consistent with it, and every single day that you blog, learn something new about blogging and add it and implement it, and keep doing the things that get you big results, and you're going to be a really powerful blogger a year from now if you do that. Whereas if I try to tell you something specific, it's not going to turn you into somebody that's going to seek your own answers and become a powerful person in the blogosphere. So.
Right. I just wanted to make sure that if I had like lots of different content, or if I just needed to have one specific content, you know, that was.
It just doesn't. It just doesn't matter nearly as much as you think. What's important is that you do it every day and you get better at learning, and with a general focus. If you're always sending out things to a target market like BizOp, and like every third day you send them an email about cats, that might be a little bit off on a tangent. You know what I'm saying? But it's not going to hurt you to put that stuff on your blog if you love cats. You know what I mean? People will be like, well, this lady's a little weird about cats, but I mean, nobody's going to really care. It just is. It might not help you produce results. It just doesn't matter. I'm just telling you, it just doesn't. But we'll get on our things and learn more. Just do it every day.
My second question: what is personal development book? Out, what do you think that they should read first?
You kind of broke off, Nadia. Say that again.
No, I got the question.
What is your favorite personal development book?
Wrong question. Ask me again. I'm like this all the time.
I'm sorry.
You guys can ask anybody that's been around me for a while. What's much more important than that is that you take a set amount of time and you read every day. Okay? That's what's important. And you can start with anything. Most people, they say, start with Think and Grow Rich, which has a whole bunch of cool stuff and also some total bullshit. But I was making fun of sex transmutation earlier today because it's so hilarious. People say their favorite book all the time, but the reality is if you want to get big results from reading, go find things that are related to the subject you want to become an expert in, stay focused on the topic until you're an expert in it, and take a fixed amount of time that you never deviate from and do that every single day. And it doesn't really matter how much it is. If you read for 30 minutes, and this is the thing that's transformational about reading. The average CEO who makes $1 million a year, right, reads about 50 books a year, reads about a book a week, right? The average North American who's a college graduate reads about a book a year. There's a big difference between the average income for the average college graduate and the average income of a CEO. The difference is honestly how much information is in their brain and how well they can use it. The amount of stuff that's in your brain actually really does matter, okay? You want to know how much you have to read 50 books a year? about 30 minutes a day. If you read for 30 minutes a day with a timer and are a very normal reader, you will finish about a book every single week, and you will be on par with every $1 million earner CEO in North America with your knowledge in 2 or 3 years. That's more important than anything specific that you read.
Okay.
But ask Tracey, she probably has favorite books. I actually don't. Right now, my favorite book is the ones I'm reading.
Okay. Well,
Next
thank
question.
you.
Well, thank you. And here's my question for you. Will you blog every day for the next year, even if you don't want to?
Yes, because I actually came up with some really, really great ideas. I didn't think that I had any stories to tell or anything valuable to share until I got to talking to somebody, and she was like, right there, you just told me everything about you. Share that with people. So I'm going to do that.
Let's do it. All right, guys, let's move on to the next question, and let's keep them rapid. We have 12 minutes left.
Cool. Janelle, you want to go? You're going to have to unmute yourself first. Still muted. You got to go to the top of the Hangout screen. There's like a little microphone button, right? So as you're figuring that out, let's go to Alicia. Alicia, go ahead, girl.
All right. Hey, Dave. Hey, Tracey. I'm so excited to be on this hangout with you. And actually, you know, I have to admit I have a couple questions written down, but you answered them all. So I'm just going to spare you those questions because you already did it. I mean, awesome. Like, I'm super pumped and laser focused right now. So I'm just ready to go, and let's just get on with the other questions.
Okay, well, thank you for coming on. Are you going to do it? You going to make this happen?
Yes. Oh, of course. Yes, definitely. Thank you so much. That was amazing.
Thanks for coming on. Let's bring out the next person.
Cool, cool. Let's see who's on next. So while you're working on that, Janelle, we'll bring on somebody else. And if for some reason, if you're like watching this right now, you know, I'm sending you a link now. Either way, it's only 11 more minutes. So whether you decide to get on right now and ask the questions, now is your time, right? Time is limited. Just how your opportunity is limited to make a decision. So if you haven't made a decision to click the button, don't be an asshole and click the button, right? If you haven't made the decision to go to the event, I don't know what to tell you. And I might just say a couple of things. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I got some steam to leave off too, because thanks to Dave and just thanks to this community, I always stay in the reality of the situation. And what's the reality? The reality is that, you know, most people that are working a job, if they don't work for like a week or 2 weeks, right? And hold on just a second. Nadia, if you don't mind hopping off so I can bring on Stefan on here for me, right? If you're like at a job, right, and you don't work for like a couple of weeks, you're gonna end up being freaking homeless. You know what I mean? Like most of you don't have a savings account, don't have a travel account. Every time Tracey Walker does a midday motivational call, you sit there and you listen to her financial advice, but you just sit there and you listen, right? You know, I'll personally admit, you know, I've had the hardest time. And I'll bring out Stefan out here in a second. I have had the hardest time most of my life with saving money, right? And, you know, ever since Tracey Walker kind of spanked us on the midday call, that's been my main prerogative is saving money. Because back then, you know, it's like, how can I save money that it's just going to go out the window, you know, every single week? But because you start making supplemental income and you replace your income, money's no longer a problem. You're not going to get rich at your job. You're going to get rich building your business. So that being said, Stefan, man, can you hear us, bro? Unmute yourself. Ask your questions. You only got like about a minute, so go for it, bro.
Paul, yeah, I could hear you, man. It's Steven with a PH, but that's okay. By the end of Vegas, man, it's going to be locked in like that. Dave, kick-ass hangout, man. I'm just so pumped up right now. I can't even think of my question that I had earlier. I'm just so excited. You know, to be part of this movement and moving forward with the best team in the industry. So I guess one of my questions would be, you know, how we could really dip into maybe some of these other companies or other affiliates that are struggling, that maybe that don't want to admit it, they don't want to put their ego away, and join the best team that's going on right now, you know. So I just want to give you a lot of props, man. I got like God here, Jesus here, and then we got Dave Wood and the president right here. So that's what I'm saying. I'm excited to meet you guys in Vegas, and I'm about to light this thing up with my mentors, Paul Gardiner and you, Dave Wood, man. Where I'm going is I really want to become and be a hypnotic speaker with videos, with stories, you know. So what kind of advice would you give? I know it all. I know a lot of your advice already because I've watched all your videos. So, but there we go.
You know, I'm gonna be short just with the question that you had, which is how to reach out to other people at other companies who like are stuck in their companies. Honestly, don't. I mean, you're just not who you're looking for, right? Randy Schrader, who's I mean, he's a rep. He jumps to a new thing every 3 years. He's a brilliant network marketer. He describes the phases network marketers go through as the times on a clock dial, and high noon is, you know, at 12 o'clock in the day. People they're making more money than they've ever made. They're successful. They're you know, they've arrived, right? But then what happens is usually that leads somebody to being prideful about something in their business or about what they're doing, and that starts to lead to some sort of decline that happens because rises and declines always go in cycles. They're predictable and repeatable. And what happens then is they go to 3 o'clock, and at 3 o'clock their income's down, they're frustrated, right, or they're dissatisfied with something, and then all the time what happens is people who were at high noon, they not all of them, right, there are people that stay there, all right, and that's what I'm talking about tonight is how to stay there, right, or there's people that fall out and then get back, they fall out and then get back, right, and that happens too. But a lot of times people go from high noon to 6 o'clock, right? Which is, you know, my company just went out of business. The CEO just quit. You know, blah 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 blah. Reasons, right? Well, all of a sudden they're open to doing something different, or they're sick of three-way calls, or they're burned out from meetings, or whatever it is, right? Now this is a person who's been humbled again, right? So what happens is those people are recruitable, right? People at high noon are not recruitable. So if somebody's stuck in what they're doing, never try to get them never try to change their mind. You can knock on the door. If they open it, that's fine. You can build a relationship. What I would do is build relationships with as many of them as possible and just keep it open all the time, right? And always be there. Always be the one that's there serving. Always be the one that's there providing value, because then when they're at 6 o'clock, you're going to be the first phone call, right? And that's the kind of relationships you want to build with good leaders. You want to build the kind of relationship where you're the first phone call, you're the first message they send when they're at 6 o'clock, right? Because they're going to be there at one point or the other if they're like 99% of the people in the industry, right? And so you just kind of build the relationship, give them more value than anybody, and then when they're ready, okay? That's what you do. And then you go recruit the people who are at 6 o'clock right now, right? You don't want to recruit people that are unrecruitable. You don't want to convince people who don't want to do it. You don't want to convince people that don't believe it's possible to believe it's possible. You want to give them the environment and then bring the people to you that want to be brought, and have enough numbers to where you're constantly building relationships with other people because the clock keeps turning.
Nice, thank you.
Cool. All right.
That help?
Oh yeah, for sure.
If you need to like rewind that, then you can. You know what I mean? Just two more questions, or actually just one more question and maybe one more. This was one from Janelle. She didn't know how to unmute herself, Dave. But Janelle, who's on the Hangout pink shirt and producing also, she says, the question is being involved with like another MLM business already, like the fitness niche, or selling like a health product, will being involved in EN and being involved in that company equate to failure in both?
No, it's not that you can't do two things at once. It's that if you're not succeeding at one of them, you're definitely not going to succeed at two of them. So just asking that question tells me you're not succeeding even at one of them, right? So you've actually answered your own question by the fact that you're not building one successfully, haven't you? Because you wouldn't be asking that question if you were a successful network marketer. You'd know, right? And that's a shame with people when they get distracted before they're ever focused, because they were never focused in the first place. right? Can you build multiple downlines? Yeah, if you do it one at a time. There's people that do that successfully in the niche, and they build one huge. They get it to process management, and they go build another. I actually don't like that model very much because the richest people in the industry don't do that. The very richest people in network marketing are rich from one deal. I'm talking about people that make us all look poor. Okay? And you ain't see nothing in Power Network either. If you think people making $1 million is something, you ain't see nothing compared to what we're going to do. Right? We're going places a lot bigger than this. But that's the answer to your question, is that you've answered it by asking it.
So should she focus on one or the other, or what can she do to be successful in both?
I'll leave her with the riddle. That the fact that she's answered, the fact that she's asking that question has answered it. Because you can't build two things if you can't succeed at one. So choose.
All right. Well, I think anybody else, Adrian, anybody else have one last question before Dave's got to go? I don't have a question. I just like speaking the world into existence. I learned that from Dave in the Inner Circle audios, which is why you're listening to them every day. And I learned that's how you kind of got to do things, and hence the reason why we're #1 in the leaderboards. And I called it out the moment that the contest was that whole incentive of winning. You get to go to Costa Rica, and the moment that happened, I was in the shower, and then this vision of me stepping into Dave Wood's house doing a double leg takedown on him occurred, and I was like, that's it. So I have plenty of questions, but I'll just ask you in Costa Rica.
Okay, cool. We're good. I'll see you in Vegas in a couple weeks or 10 days or 5 days or whatever it is. I never know.
All right, so I think that's going to go ahead and close out for the questions. Adrian or Roger, did you guys have any final thoughts that you wanted to share with Dave and everybody that's listening before we close out tonight?
Well, Tracy, I'll just be real quick because I got to run out. But Dave, I appreciate your honesty, your humor, your candor, and you just had me cracking up. And I really appreciate the recent blog post that you've been putting out about blogging. I realized some of the things that I was doing wrong with myself when it wasn't congruent. And just by reading one of your blog posts, I got more engagement overnight in one night than I had in like a whole week. And so I just really appreciate that. And I will see you in Vegas.
All right, man. See you there. Looking forward to it.
Roger.
Thank you, Dave.
Hey, Dave, thanks for the information.
You're muted, bro.
Can you hear me?
You have to speak up. You're gonna have to speak up a little bit more.
Can you hear me now?
Speak up louder. Like for some reason your mic's low. Just yell. We've been yelling all night.
Can you hear me now?
Kinda.
No. It's super low. It's like your volume's not even up, Roger.
No. Just yell, bro. If you yell, we'll hear you.
Oh, God. Wake up all your neighbors in Tampa.
All right. Come on.
Yeah, go ahead and yell.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, just type it in the chat, Roger, or write a sign and hold it up to your camera, and then we'll do it that way. Bruce, anything you wanted to close out with real fast?
No, I have nothing to say. I already know what I need to do on a daily basis. I just tune into the Inner Circle audio. But Dave, you're hilarious, man. You just had me over here cracking up. I had to close my screen because I was making these ugly faces. I was just really laughing over here. But dude, you're hilarious. Everybody knows what they need to do. They already knew what they needed to do before you even popped on. But you're just the one to come out to reconfirm with them. So I have no questions or anything like that. And yeah, that's it.
Awesome, Bruce. Listen, guys, it's time to recommit. It's time to decide that failure is not even an option. Once you decide that success is the only option, then it removes any other possibilities for anything other than that. And all you have to do is stay focused, one foot in front of the other. 8 core commitments is what it's about. If you don't know what to do each and every day, go through those 8 core commitments and find out which one of those things you have not done and get busy doing those things. To everyone who has joined us on this hangout, leaders from other teams, other parts of the company, we love you, we appreciate you. We're going to keep this hangout, the replay, up for a few days at least. So for those of you that want to see it, you can see it. For those of you that are smart, you can pull it down from YouTube, do whatever you want to do. You can use it in your marketing. You might want to put a disclaimer on there because we do have explicit content, okay, for you people who are concerned with the wordsmiths that we have on the line. And listen, all I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge everybody to make 2015 your best year. It's the year of for you to rise up, right? We've been doing our blog challenge. It's the year for you to rise up. Those of you that can see the vision, those of you that can see it clearly and are ready to rock and roll, it's time to continue to lock arms with us. It is the revolution, and I will see each and every one of you in Vegas. Good night.